Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kevin. So today we're at Wheel of Time episode 3. Where we left off in episode 2, Moraine was seriously wounded, and she seems to be getting weaker and weaker. And a lady that I didn't recognize at first, but I know now is Nynaeve, she showed up, held a knife to Lan's throat, and said to take her to the others or she'll kill him. And that's where we're at right now. They just left the cursed city. One of them picked up a knife or a blade of some kind with a red jewel in it in the hilt. And just have to assume that that's going to come into play later on. I don't know how. I have no idea. So this episode is called A Place of Safety. No idea what it means. Um, I'm going to jump right into it because I don't want to waste any time. I'm trying to catch up to the live episode still. So without any further ado, let's get into episode 3 of The Wheel of Time. Okay, so flashback from when she was taken, which was in episode 1. The Trollocs are wounded also. Okay, so they're like orcs. Eat the weak. I have a shirt that says Detroit, where the weak are killed and eaten. Cool look on those things. I've said that before, but clearly it's CGI, but I don't know if it's CGI in every shot or in shots like this where it might be a person in a suit. Either way, it looks really good. So she must have got it. So that's how she got away from her captors. Is that cave the same place where in the first episode she was talking to Moraine? Kind of looked like it, but I'm not sure.
You think you know this world? You know nothing.
Jon Snow.
The Dark One is coming for your friends. And Moraine has fought his forces with everything she has.
If she cares about them so much, then why did she leave them?
She didn't. I did.
You think I'm gonna help her?
You will if you want to help your friends.
Quid pro quo.
Don't move.
I'm betting he could kill the shit out of her if he wants to. Yep, totally called it. Feel like I'm gonna like Lan.
And what do you want us to do? Just walk to the White Tower. How are we going to get there?
They say your words lead there.
That's not how roads work.
Out of these 4 people that Moraine's bringing, somehow feel like Matt is going to be the first person to die or maybe defect. Doesn't seem like his whole heart's in it, if you know what I mean.
I'm sorry, I'll get it.
Watch her do it in like one try. Rizinger. So she's got powers
Was that me or you?
aside from listening to the wind.
Children with some food or water.
But I know where Rand will be headed.
The White Tower? No.
Because I know Rand. He'll go where he thinks you're going.
Exactly. The White Tower. I think we've established that they're not going to be going home again anytime soon. Wonder how long it's going to take Nynaeve to come to the realization that she's just going to have to help Moraine get better. It'll be better for everybody, I think, for now.
If I help her, she best give me the answers I want.
Are you really in a position to be making demands?
It's not a demand, it's a threat.
Check and mate. Alright, got that king's foil. Man's sitting there like, can you hurry the fuck up? My girl's dying.
Said you could ask. Not that I'd answer. Alright, I'm ready.
Snippy woman. But she is being held captive, so can't really expect her to be overly forthcoming with information. It might be a coincidence or it might not, but that's exactly where Frodo got stabbed on Weathertop by the Night King by the Morgul blade. Wound that he never fully heals from. Now that looks exactly why I don't want to ever enter the medical field in my life. I can't stand even looking at blood or bodily fluids that shouldn't be there. So he's back home. So it's a dream because Layla's dead. Ah, the Dark One. The Dark One, as far as I gather, is the main antagonist of the Wheel of Time, at least for now. She knows. And he turned his face and he turned into the Dark One. So is there a secret he's keeping, or a secret that someone is keeping from him? I hope you could climb a tree or swim somewhere if you could find water.
Why have they stopped?
We have to get moving. Come on.
Are they afraid to go out in that field, or is a channeler like doing a spell to keep the wolves away?
Shit's cold. How about we,
Is that the first bad word in this series yet? I think it was.
Matt Coffin. The man who once walked while a little chilly.
You funny now? Let's at least start going downhill instead of up, eh? Hey?
As they walk uphill. Kind of looks like some scenery from Breath of the Wild.
Well, this seems like a friendly place. Nice way to welcome people.
So you'll be on best behavior then?
That person doesn't look like they've been dead very long. Here's one of those fancy looking stones again. They all seem to be different colors. So they were in there, and then someone fired arrows at them. It was a little industrious looking city, or town.
No, the only other fresh one in town's a Gleeman. Let's quiet down, he's about to do another song.
Gleeman. So it's like a bard, I'm guessing. I don't know if I've heard the term Gleeman before, but yeah. Guitar player, musician, bard. Sounds like the song could have been about the dragon, but that would imply that that bard, Gleeman, is very old if it's a true song.
Still there.
Still following at a walking pace, which is kind of unsettling.
The wolves, Perrin. It's almost like they let us.
Yeah. Almost seems like they're corralling them somewhere.
Have we got enough money to pay for tonight?
I have. You got robbed. Come on. Let's see if that barmaid has room for us.
Save your money. Light knows I need the help.
Light nose.
Come on.
Makes sense for that to be a
Start by splitting all that.
expression.
Sure it tastes
Gonna need Steve Rogers for this task.
You don't need to go there for her. She wouldn't do it for you.
She might.
You are such a prick.
Horse trader.
Thank goodness you're here.
Everybody! Everybody, I have a horse trader with no horses here.
Oh,
Does
burn.
anyone need a horse trader with no horses?
Usually the one drinking.
Then you know how pissed off people get waiting for one.
Nice. And this is true. I've never been a beer drinker, but I could imagine.
Might keep him around though. He amuses.
So she likes him.
And here's me thinking this was the spot you'd always dreamed of. Shame.
Isn't it where everyone aspires to work?
I'm gonna get back. Somehow. Whether I need to beg, borrow, or steal.
I'd think about that last one. Unless you want to end up in a cage.
And apparently used for target practice once you're in said cage.
Don't be so sure.
So he trusts Nynaeve to leave her alone with Moraine now. Personally, I do too, but it's a nice little development in the relationship between Lan and Nynaeve.
It's not your fault. What happened?
He's still beating himself up about his wife. The whole coloring of this series really reminds me a lot of like the movie Kingdom of Heaven. Not sure why.
Do you know the song?
Which song would that be, folks?
I'm Isla. This is Rayan. You both are awful.
So we got. Well, we found the caravan of people that they were following the tracks of. They seem peaceful.
We're the Tuatha, the traveling people.
The people who steal your gold and your children. I don't know.
Generous group of people. Clearly nomads. Pretty much the definition of traveling people.
Friend off an hour ago. Figured he'd join you.
Not until all the work's done, I'm sure.
That's plenty for now. And the next year, probably. Nothing like a bit of slap and tickle to sort out relationship woes.
Matt and I,
No.
It's none of my business what a man decides to do with his. We'll keep a gob shut.
we're not together.
You sure? Well, things seem pretty tense for friends.
Yeah, if I wanted a man, I could do better.
I didn't.
So, same-sex relationships in this universe seem to be, as far as I could tell so far, about as accepted as they are in the real world. So that's cool. There doesn't seem to be any like taboo on the subject, which can be common or fairly common in these high fantasy stories.
Oh man,
The Gleeman.
Come. Help me get him down.
Like, man, you basically robbed me a few hours ago. You want me to help you?
It's only when they fail. You should worry. That's when you're as good as dead.
So they're like assassins?
There's no fret. He was murdered by cowards. Feared something they didn't understand.
not like you need to.
Robbing the dead.
Tell me when you're finished.
Not a judgmental guy, it seems. But it's interesting that he turns his back.
If you're gonna take from the dead, least you can do is bury them.
Ha! He just keeps getting the sword into the stick with this guy.
I'm going east.
Where?
To the White Tower?
I'm not prying. Maybe I can help.
Be interesting to see a map of this world.
I don't know shit, really.
Not yet. But I'm sure that's going to be changing real rapidly as the rest of the season goes. Oh, denied.
I'm sorry.
No, I shouldn't have braided it. Makes me look too much like her, doesn't it?
Like who?
Egwene.
Oh, this just took a sudden turn.
I think it would be better
She doesn't take no for an answer.
For what?
Matt, I need him too.
So that's why they were placed in that room where they can be as loud as they want and no one will hear them.
Now that we're acquaintances, are you gonna give me my money back?
Ha! Fuck off. Really? Alright. So we're seeing some powers start to manifest among some of these people. This woman, she is not fucking around.
I see you.
I still don't know what she wants.
Names all 5 of you. But only one of you matters. Only one of you can be it.
5? What?
The dragon.
Can you tell us which of the 5?
Doesn't matter who I am.
Or who the 5th one is?
The last time someone brought the dragon to the Dark One, we still remember his name 3,000 years on. Ishamael.
Ishamael. I don't know whether to call her a believer or a fanatic.
One of what?
One of the eyeless.
One of the eyeless. Okay. Well, goodbye her.
Where are you going?
East. And fast. Are you coming?
Alright, we have another companion. Reminds me of the opening for Sweeney Todd with the blood. No, that was a pretty cool transition. Let's see how things go at this checkpoint of sorts and how much Moiraine's wits are about her. Leandrin is from the first episode, I remember that.
Here, we captured a man calling himself the Dragon Reborn.
And he was losing his mind, or the madness had already started, as she said. Okay, so I'm assuming that that's going to be a significant character in the future. Probably, I mean, like the next episode. I still don't know who that is, or if I'm supposed to yet. Alright, so that was episode 3 of The Wheel of Time. So we met Dana, and we almost immediately lost Dana, which was unfortunate because she seemed like she was a pretty decent lady, but as it turns out, she was not. She was what they call a dark friend, a servant of the Dark One. That's the first time I've heard that term, dark friend. I wasn't sure if she was like a believer or a fanatic, but then they referred to her as, you know, a servant of the Dark One, a dark friend. So I think that's, I don't know if she's just straight up evil or leans towards fanaticism, but either way, she's gone. I just imagine that she was introduced to teach us the concept of what a dark friend is, a spy of some kind. So Perrin and Egwene have joined up with a traveling group of nomads. Not sure how to pronounce what I wrote down, and I'm not sure if I got the spelling right on all these things, but they call themselves the Tuathan. I don't know. But they're traveling people, and they seem pretty nice, generous, welcoming, accepting. So I don't know if that's how they actually are, or if that's like a front, like Dana was. But time will tell with them. But in the meantime, they seem to be in good company, so that's good. And Perrin is being really protective over Egwene because he still blames himself for his wife's death. But, you know, I can understand why, but it's kind of easy for me to see that it was the Trollocs and the Fades' fault that she was killed, or that anyone in that town was killed. That's their fault, not his. But I understand it's going to be a tricky thing convincing him of that. And we met the Gleeman, who apparently is like a traveling musician, Tom Marilyn. I don't know what to think of him yet. He basically uses his reputation to just steal money from unwary travelers, but at the same time, he seems to have enough honor to want to bury someone that's being hung up in a cage dead. And he's also joining Matt and Rand for their trip east, which I have to assume that's still aiming towards the White Tower. I don't know what Tom's goal or objective is in all of this yet. I don't know very much about him at all, really, but he'll be an interesting character as far as I could tell so far. The person that was in the cage, I think they referred to him as an Ale. They come from the Ale Waste. I'm assuming how that he was described is like he's an assassin or very deadly when he has his mask up, but when his mask is off, he was no threat, he said. So I'm not exactly sure how that works. And the dragon, the original dragon's name was Ishamel or Ishamel. I'm not sure how the pronunciation or the spelling is, but it's something along those lines. That was his name the first time. That's where I'm at right now. That's what I got, and I'm looking forward to episode 4 because I heard episode 4 is a big time episode. I'm not sure why, but a lot of people have been talking about how good episode 4 was in comparison to the first 3 episodes, so I'm looking forward to getting to that next. So I'm going to move on to that one as quick as I can so I can catch up and get the rest of these out and start being on par with you guys in the show, minus the book readers, and then I can start reacting live, and that'll be hopefully coming as soon as possible. But in the meantime, like this video, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. More Wheel of Time is coming after all. So, fuck off.